Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's taking a look here at XRP, see what's going on. Double checking a few important factors here. We're down 7% on the day. Bitcoin's pulling back pretty hard. We're seeing a slight bounce here off this 235 range. We talked about that previously being a nice area of control with the amount of volume we're seeing right there. So that could be a very positive sign here. Generally speaking, these areas of support, you got to give them a chance to hold as support until they break, right? We are breaking down below the descending trend line here. That's not a favorable sign though, so we do got a few things to look at here today, so stick around. I'm going to take a quick look at our backend data first and kind of go from there. I want to say thank you so much for being an awesome part of my life. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment below if you get a chance. Deeply appreciate that, and thanks for all the support too. We got some really cool comments coming through here. So in the last 7 days, we can see again 270, 265, that upper range of liquidation. We have some local longs here at about 230 to 235. So kind of a little easier to see maybe if I drag this over here. But the general consensus is that we can see liquidation on the downside and the upside, but we're closer to the lower levels, all right? And generally speaking, a lot of market makers are going to keep pushing the price action down to sweep those lower levels before the price recovers, okay? So just know that's a possibility. We're going to look at the charts too to reflect a few other things here as well. And we do take a look at the monthly here. We can recognize there's pretty significant areas of liquidation at 220 to 210 as low as $2. Okay, those are like the heavier concentrations to the downside. We do have some local lows here about 230 to 235. Again, there's that potential reality, but at this point, majority liquidation here has been swept minus the local longs, essentially. Whoever took a long at 235, there's some high leverage longs there. And just know that we could see a last candle wick down to sweep that level. We have seen a shift in momentum here, though, with the liquidation delta shifting to bearish, so to speak. So we have more people shorting than taking longs right now. And it makes sense. We kind of lost that support range, if you will. And we're right here at the point of control. A lot of folks will short into support and just kind of hope for the best. Okay, because again, the overall momentum right now is down, so it makes sense to go with the trend. So I wouldn't recommend necessarily a long based on what we've seen here so far, but that can definitely change probably pretty soon here for this coin. It does respond pretty well lately to these dips. So 241 is that local area of interest where people have the most amount of interest in this coin. So let's take a look at the daily time frame, work our way down. And just kind of note that we do have a significant fair value gap as low as 197. It makes sense because that 197 was that important previous resistance level for us. So we broke through that, haven't come back down to retest that, and that's why that fair value gap still exists. So it does seem sensible from an overall logical standpoint here that we're going to see that fair value gap filled eventually. Okay, that's just kind of how that works. Now the daily time frame does reflect a significant bullish uptrend here. We have lost 70 in the RSI, of course, so that does imply you should have secured profits on your long, because again, we were up over RSI since November. Okay, so anyone who got in November would be somewhere in the range of what, probably 70, 85 cents. So you're probably up somewhere in the range of about 218% as a rough estimate. So why get greedy, folks? Again, the RSI is kind of letting us know the price is more likely to pull back, or just in general, significant take profit scenario. Basically, just it's always recommended when the RSI crosses back under 70 to secure some profit. So you don't have to close the whole thing. Just maybe consider getting a little bit out of it, if you will. That's best practice. Just kind of throwing it out there. All that being said, everything else looking pretty decent. We are stochastically diverging. MACD is trying to diverge, so we're just losing momentum as we stay in this range. While we're building a decent amount of volume, we have our macro point of control at 242. We're right there at that level, just below. So this is not optimal. A lot of times you can short into that, have some success. Now again, we lost our ascending trend line here running concurrent with the 20-day SMA and the 50-day SMA, so we can see that we're below both. Generally, when you break below those, the price action is going to have difficulty just going up from here, okay? We're establishing lower highs and lower lows if you kind of draw this out here as well. So the general consensus is that we're moving down, and we got to presume it's going to continue until it doesn't, right? That's generally how it's supposed to work. Again, Bitcoin's exuding the same behavior. I do think Bitcoin has a little bit of, it may try to rip back up to 99, 100,000, but we got a lot of resistance in that range that's starting to form. So if we see that, I'm leaning more towards a short at that level for Bitcoin, okay? 4-hour time frame, we lost 50 on the RSI once again, so we've been having difficulty maintaining above this. We can see money flow index is above the price, which is generally favorable, but it's still not a good trend that we're seeing here so far. Stochastic's trying to swing up. MACD is diverging. There's a lot of reasons why taking a long into this doesn't make a ton of sense. Let's see if the hourly confirms any of the divergence here, and to kind of see if we are below the cloud, which we are. And this is generally construed as a no buy zone. Again, when you break below the cloud, doesn't mean you just short to the ground, but it does imply that if you open a short, you're going to have more success because the price is more likely to continue lower. So all that combined with the ascending trend line rather that we broke below, and then of course we got the lag and span free and clear conversion line below the baseline, and the actual cloud itself is at that 246 to 250 range. There's a decent chance the price does recover, that we will see essentially a lower low and a lower high to follow. Okay, that's just kind of what the chart is telling us. So take with that what you will. This could be a good opportunity to dollar cost average on the way down. If so, good DCA targets would be like 218, 235, some areas here of support tentatively. Just keep in mind, there's a lot of value left in this coin, so $2 could absolutely be a realistic possibility based on that fair value gap on the larger time frames, and just in general, the overall sentiment here is shifting. Again, I'm not proposing we're going to see like Bitcoin run straight down, but it does have a pretty big candle of liquidity left to grab at that 90,000 range. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin continues a bit lower before it breaks 100,000 again. So anyways, those are all just some thoughts from me. So I hope that makes sense. I'll post a playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, Discord. They look a little something like this. If you're not familiar, I kind of give you my insight on where I think this coin's going to go next, kind of a recap that's available there. And then, of course, Bitunix 2, folks. Do not forget these guys. No KYC or VPN required. Phenomenal exchange, $12,000 deposit bonus. They are excellent. Okay, so check them out. Link down below if you're curious. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Deeply appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.